All right, gentlemen, get your asses on this stage. You got work to do. Anyway, so over here on bass we have Peter Goritz. Peter's tuning up. Back there, queuing everything up for the big song. We have Thomas Coyne, the behind the scenes man. Over here, the man you don't even need a spot on him because he's got the light up hair, cooler than shit. Ladies and gentlemen, my buddy, my good friend Rick Joyce. And this is no longer my microphone because I have to give it up to the man with the real voice, the man who you actually came to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Diem. All right, boys, do your thing.
We became a goth band by default, really. You know, it's more the scene that embraced the band as opposed to us saying we are going to be a goth band. And I think a lot of the people that like us appreciate that because that gives us a certain unique flavor.
I think it was mostly our girlfriends and friends that made us be a band about it. We picked up a drummer and a bass player and started doing some shows and releasing little cassette tapes back in the day, and nobody could afford CDs back then.
We've always been a band that just did what we like to do. It's our music, and if you like it, cool, and if you don't, that's cool. We respect that as well. And the goth scene that exists around our band for years and years has embraced us and become our fan base for the most part. We'll play shows that aren't goth too. It's good, whatever.
All right, this is a Blaring Out with Eric Blair show.
Hey, this is James Angel from KRTV.
All right, welcome. This is Showcase Underground. We're here in Philadelphia Shampoo Nightclub checking out The Last Dance.
This is Jeff. He's the lead singer of The Last Dance. We have Rick. He is the mastermind of The Last Dance. And then we have Peter, who is the bass player for The Last Dance, and he has cool hair. Now, you guys have been working hard on a new album in the past couple months, or maybe even longer.
Mostly 2 months for recording, and then a few months before that for writing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you think that this is a growth for you guys as far as musically?
Another foot in the grave. It's a lot of work. It's really hard work.
It's the next step.
Where are you guys recording?
We record at a church in West Covina, and we mix it at our house, at the last house, in our little home studio.
Now, church in West Covina. What kind of church?
It's just a Christian church.
And they're good about that? They're not like, oh, you guys are going to hell.
No. They're very forward-thinking, and they're totally cool and supportive, and then they let us use it for free.
Yeah, Rick's been their sound guy for about 10 years.
Oh, okay.
And so
I'm the weird guy in the back, does sound, and they like me.
yeah,
So,
so it's this big, huge brick building, and it's got a killer sound system in it, and great mics and everything. So we bring down our stuff and lay down. Actually, we've recorded almost all of our albums there.
Not forget you, won't take a secret, won't take memory of our life. You're a part of this forever. You've become in all of me.
The click and a little less vocal, please. You want the click? Yeah, I do need the click. I forgot there's nothing until the drums come in. Okay, I'll definitely need it for the beginning part. These things are more than I can share. These things are more than I can go alone, to go alone.
Rick and Jeff in particular like the sound of the church acoustics for their instruments, and they also work really nicely for the drums.
You know, you listen to an album and you know, you listen to what you've done in the past and you think, okay, well, you know, this is cool, and you know, this is a cool direction, and what I hear something missing from it. And I heard on the last album, I heard some missing guitar stuff. So it's like, okay, I'm writing some sequence stuff. I'm gonna keep that sequence stuff a little down and dreamy, and just sort of lots and lots of background nothing stuff happening, and then just encouraged Rick all along the way to say, you know, I want you to go all out on this and do stuff that is just crazy.
The acoustics of that place actually work against me. You want bass to be really tight. Depending on the song, you know, I try to keep my parts pretty simple, or at least you know, non-obtrusive as possible, and also, you know, the challenge for me is also finding room for the bass to fit in with all of the electronics and stuff like that.
Make me listen, make me wonder, make me feel, make me dream and not surrender. As my voice is silent and my heart it feels less than before, and my feelings fail me, and to be lovely. Make me beautiful again. Feel like I'm special still, and remind me how to smile, and feel like diamonds. Make me beautiful. Make me beautiful again.
How is it on that chorus? Am I holding out words too long still, or?
It sounded really good, Jeff.
Cool.
It's perfect quality for this song, really.
Awesome.
I mean, it's as good as it can be with you singing.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna change it all. You know, after you leave, we'll have a real singer come in and sing it. But
That's cool.
I'll have to hop on stage then.
yeah, we'll have Rocky sing it.
This is 24. I'm the singer right now.
24, and I moved it back.
I do like that a lot. You know what I mean?
We are actually doing our first video for the song Once Beautiful. This is actually the first Last Dance video that we've ever done, and it's pretty cool. Well, actually, it's pretty hot, but it's fun.
We were able to get. Base probably does.
Yeah, I don't think I must have missed that on the email.
We will have a fifth wheel large trailer. I do have, you know, the little cherubs, so at certain points during the day it'll be full of people. But
That's fine.
No,
at least
that's
there'll be
great.
some air conditioning and.
That's great.
I don't want the cherubs passing out because I have to have my own trailer.
No dead cherubs. That's just like mad.
I don't think that would be good for the video. It's better if they play dead.
I hope these aren't the cherubs I've worked with in the past, because they were very difficult. It was a different kind of project.
Are you anti the music video thing? I mean, has MTV really tainted you as far as like thinking that that's a way to go?
MTV isn't interested in small label bands, and so it's not. So doing an MTV type video isn't even in the picture, which is kind of fortunate because I think I would feel really goofy doing it.
Isn't that right, Rocky?
That's absolutely right.
Videos are lame, right? Okay.
Except Sandy's. Yeah,
Except Sandy's.
Sandy's rock.
They contacted me and were interested in doing a video for a song called Nightmare, which I loved. I loved their CD. I loved what they sent me. I thought they were very talented. They asked me to come down to the Key Club and check out the show. So Simon Tams, my producer, and I went down there and we checked it out. They were very cool, very down to earth. The music was excellent. They were definitely the best band that played there that night, and I would have loved to have done the video. It's just that it didn't really work out. But I told Patrick to stay in touch with me and, you know, keep me updated of, you know, new album releases and so forth. And that's exactly what they did. They just contacted me a couple months ago and said, hey, we're coming out with a new album. We'll send you some songs, see if anything strikes you, and maybe we can work something out this time. And it did. I loved Once Beautiful. I heard it once. First time I heard the song, I said, I know exactly what I want to do. We're going to start with an old lady who's looking at a picture of her younger self, and she's feeling that she wants to be young and beautiful again. So she
in this fit of rage, he throws this picture outside the house through a window, and it's picked up by the Grim Reaper. So she's visited by Death, who takes her out into the desert to meet the devil, which is going to be this very elaborate, mechanically computer-controlled puppet that an actor is going to wear. It's going to be a radio-controlled head, and yeah, it'll blink, it'll snarl, it'll look really cool. Let's see, Jeff, why don't you start like right here? Okay, you guys on stage, you pretty much do the same thing, right? You guys, that's pretty much.
He's there, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, you right here?
Be careful.
Okay.
Okay.
And same thing. Eye line can be anywhere along here. Play it here. Play it there. You know, I want to see a lot of body movement. You know, give me a lot of this stuff, and then give me a lot of body movement. Right? Try not to move your feet too much. Like I don't want to see you like run around. But give me a lot of body movement. Give me the head going different ways. You know, Sun's just gonna do awesome things with that hair. Just pretend like you're singing to people in those trees. Okay? So don't ever look at me. Don't ever look at the camera.
No problem.
Don't look at me. Don't look at the camera.
Okay.
Remember, don't ever look at the camera. Okay. Ready? Close focus. All right. Okay. Playback. I'm rolling at 24 frames.
When I hear I never listen, it makes me wonder, makes me bleed.
I'm gonna put them in some interesting makeup. The second time you see the band, which is when they're in the cage, they are going to be in the tribal Zulu makeup, which is actually going to mimic the texture of the dry lake bed. It's a mixture of tempera paint and Fuller's Earth, and you coat their entire body with it. You let it dry for a few minutes, and then as they move around, it cracks and gets all brittle, and they'll actually, I'm gonna put this on their faces and their bodies, and they're gonna look like the dry lake bed.
Sorry, it kind of dripped down there.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Ooh, I can feel it. This is still the sexiest thing that has ever happened to me.
Print that one. That's the beauty right there. Beauty. Excellent. Really nice, people. Really good.
Nice to all their fans, and they're just really down to earth and cool guys. They're just not stuck up like some bands I've seen.
Oh, I love the music. I like keyboard progression in it, and I love the Rick, how he plays, and I like Jeff's voice.
Well, it's just the beginning for them.
Yeah.
You know, like they're gonna just blow up.
I had this idea to, while I was sitting there one day, to do a listening party, like an album release party at the coffee shop. It'd be free, it'd be all ages, there wouldn't be, I wouldn't have to work.
The listening party, we decided to do that because we wanted to do something for our local fans. That was the main reason. We thought it would be fun. No one that we know has ever done something like that before. And it's actually easier than doing a show.
Rick's firstborn, CJ, is about 5 years old, and he grabs the camera at the listening party, walks around filming the band and filming people and just having a great time with it. But it's this really cool 3-foot tall view of the world that you kind of forget what that was like to have, you know.
So
screw it, I've had a good year. I'll put in 20 grand myself. And we'll do $25,000 budget. Make it happen. He's out of his pocket. Cheese.
You a filmmaker now, kid?
Yes. Now I'm going to shoot you. Good job, Uncle Jack.
Uncle Jack?
Hello?
Hi.
Sorry, I'm afraid.
Junior filmmaker. Lift that camera up a little bit. There you go. You don't want to make that kind of movie yet.
You're getting.
Make me nervous.
All right, did you listen to the album yet?
No.
Dark.
You can hear it when you walk inside.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Josh was there. He was there. Had just agreed to do this tour with us.
I love Josh. He's fantastic. He's Canadian, that's okay. He's a fantastic singer. He's a great performer. And that guy deserves it.
Simple Shelter is Josh's solo project outside of his band State. And he's got this great little show with visuals and a projector behind him. And best of all, it's a one-man show, which is everything you want in an opening band. Very little equipment, and just a great show that really warms people up to what you're gonna do up there.
Normally, every time we go on a trip or a tour, or there's some sort of anniversary date regarding Ivan, the three principal members of The Last Dance will go and visit his grave and spend, some time there. They'll bring him some of his favorite beer and leave it there for him.
The band would not be the band that we are today without Ivan. He financially supported the band. He was gung-ho for everything we did. Anything any idea, any kind of thing, he made happen, with myself and with the rest of us. And he was a great friend.
He and I actually shared a lot of common bonds in the sense that he's Mexican-American, so we had certain cultural and language similarities, and musically he and I shared some more similar tastes that Rick and Jeff didn't really share, so we would kind of bond in that sense too.
Just to go back, what happened with Ivan, they were on tour in Europe in summer of 2002, and he had been real run down. They had been working a lot, and he had just gotten divorced and was traveling a lot, going to visit friends around the country, and just really running himself down. As you know, before you go on tour, that's usually the most tiring week, because you're trying to get your life together so you can leave for a month or two. And he'd just gone through that, so when they were in Europe, he came down with pneumonia while they were playing, and he played a gig in Leipzig, Germany at the end of August, and then basically told him, I can't go on anymore. So they actually had a sub. They got a drummer from another band to play with him. And what they did is he took him to a hospital and said, we're going to get you some fluids and get a doctor to look at you, and we'll come pick you up tomorrow on Saturday. And on Saturday, so they went and they played their gig. And the next morning, the hospital called and said, your friend didn't make it through the night. Which, they're out on the road for 6 weeks in the middle of nowhere, really. Don't have any friends, no family around, and Ivan didn't make it.
I was actually the last night of his life I spent with him. Never forget that.
about a month after Ivan died, we played in Atlanta at a convention, and in addition to that, we did another local show in Atlanta, and everything was so fresh, and you're just so confused. You're walking around this amazing big convention just sort of lost and not really knowing how to deal with things. And so we did the convention and we played this local show, and I remember walking off stage after this show in Atlanta and just sitting behind a bar, a closed bar somewhere, and just bawling my eyes out for an hour, and just trying to make sense of everything and getting used to playing shows without Ivan, and that was really a moment where it sank in, not just musically but personally, that you're dealing with this loss, and you've gotten to the point that you're accepting that things are different from here on out, and it was a tough time, definitely, and it still is. It never goes away, but you learn to deal with it and you learn to move on.
Who says the lucky go on living?
Right in that little section right there. We didn't have wheels last time, so we'll see how it goes.
You want the grill facing in, don't you?
It doesn't really matter.
I think what we're going to do is put all the light stuff in the red box, still take the lit box, but put all the fans in it. The day you're leaving for a tour is the day that you're really pulling your hair out.
The first day is a big adrenaline rush and a big stress, because you're trying to make sure you don't forget anything. Has this been repacked?
Nope.
That needs to be packed with the light stuff, and we'll put both of our blower fans in there.
Okay, that works.
And with the two back benches gone, you've got all the drums, all the merch, all the amps, the guitars, all your luggage, and just the miscellaneous stuff that ends up, and it's this Tetris game to get all the equipment loaded into the van that is actually, as you're loading the van, you're trying to make mental notes, and Peter's got a little pad and drawing stuff out.
Yeah, remember this guy?
This is Old Faithful.
The day you're leaving is the day that you're making sure that you have enough duct tape, and you have, everything from your guitar to the little tablecloth for the merch table, every little thing.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
It's gonna be great. And the kids all
Jeff wanted me
together.
to bring this as a backup, so.
Dad, I'm taking a picture of you.
Oh, cool. There's a big stress about making sure you got everything packed up. There's the stress about, you worry about leaving your family and how they're going to do without you.
You can see the height of the tour book.
And the weight.
And the weight. We had to graduate up to a 2-inch binder from an 1.5-inch binder for this tour. It's got, a little information about each show. It's
got date tabs. So where are we going to be on the 30th? Oh, we'll be in Milwaukee. From Milwaukee to Chicago. And of course they didn't send us anything, so I don't have a map. Nice example. But then we go to Indianapolis and where we're staying and maps to every place and contracts and all sorts of things. And it's quite an event, and this thing will come back absolutely thrashed. But this is a tour must for anybody wanting to do a tour and know where they're going.
A successful tour anyway.
This has nothing to do with the success of the tour, but it has a lot to do with the success of us getting to the next show.
There it is.
So we're not doing Reno? Reno didn't go through?
Well, we could have, but this drive would have been
Oh, jeez.
So we're not going to do it. We're going straight out. We're going to stay in Colorado tonight with Machine Gun Symphony.
Oh, cool.
And
How
tomorrow
long?
night,
Denver or Colorado is how many?
15-hour drive today. That's our biggest drive of the tour.
Cool.
And then
That's
tomorrow we
good
do an 8-hour drive into Lincoln. We're going to stay the night. And then we got a 4.5-hour drive into Iowa for our show.
And then don't we head up into...
Actually, after Iowa, we go into Decatur. And then we go up to Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Chicago, maybe. That show just might have gotten canceled.
Ooh.
Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Philly.
Yeah.
And then up to New York.
Philly's fun, man. I like that place.
And they got good.
Are we going to Long Island this time?
Nope.
Oh, God. That is wicked smart there.
I did get an email from Rachel.
Yeah, so did I.
Saying,
cussing us out.
I miss you. You made the best coffee ever.
Yeah.
Her whole house of
Hey,
people.
did you know she's
couldn't make it decent.
bisexual now?
I have a bad
Is she
feeling
now?
my
Yeah.
mom and Sean forgot something.
And we're going,
CJ, how you doing, buddy?
Where's Albany?
Huh?
We're
Albany,
going to Albany right there.
is right there, yeah.
And we're going to, did you say Rhode Island?
No.
Or,
Jeff?
Connecticut. We're flying to Connecticut.
Yeah.
What do we do about the light box and red box?
We're using both. They're both in the red bin already.
And my mic stands in there?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome.
Did you want this in
Your
one of these
mic?
boxes, the tube?
Yeah, that's the one.
Your mic's in one of the blue boxes. with my
Awesome.
stuff.
Cool.
Do you look on the tour last dance?
He's got serious radio.
Gene Tracy and Jackie Dunn. Chuck Stop 24.
Thank you so much. See you later. Reliving our teenage metal youth with
Can't tell you who.
the history of
Yeah.
someone.
Oh.
Oops.
You can tell by the pants, though. It's a metal band.
Yeah.
So from teenage
Hey, boo-boo.
metalheads to middle-aged goth.
A new nickname? Oh, okay. How about Hot Pants? How about me and Peter are watching an Iron Maiden video. It's pretty funny. That'll be your new nickname. I'm gonna call you Iron Maiden from now on. That's it. Yeah, Iron Maiden's on the phone.
Yeah.
We ought to give him a pit demonstration later on.
Yeah, why don't you lay down there? I'll dictate.
All right, here. Let's show him the pit. We got to make a little room. So this is how the pit worked.
Back in the day, like
Back
last
in the
tour.
day, like last tour and probably next tour when you're not on tour with us filming. You want to grab your bag there? Depending on your girth, there's different ways of getting into the pit. I'm relatively thin, but even I have to kind of, go sideways. And then you would get in here, and
Wow.
pretty much this was it. And this is how you stay for, however many hours you're down here.
Dang.
You know.
That's where I was.
Maybe
when
keep
we
a.
crashed into the wall on the freeway. I was
Were
right,
you down
but I
here?
was laying this way. My head was right
It's
here.
actually probably the safest place.
And I was jostling for position, and the truck started to do this. And I was like, "Are we going on an overpass?" I thought we were doing one of these, you know. And it just went like that. And I just kept spinning. I was like, "We're spinning out," and we hit the wall.
1, 2. Static is less, but it's still going. Soundcheck is when you're getting things ready for the audience. You're getting the drum sounds just right and getting the guitar placed, and you're thinking about how to lay things out on a stage that is never the same size twice in a row, and figuring out what you're going to do for lights and who's going to run your delay. Hey, check 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It seems to send the whole time, but I'm not receiving. Church office to the stage. Sometimes I wonder.
Ladies and gentlemen, Speedy, the Russian tortoise, is missing.
Poor Speedy. If he's really fast, he might be in Decatur by the time we get there. He's really fast.
Good first show. It's kind of wobbly as far as the band was. Some of the new songs, I'm sure you noticed. But it was cool. You know, I got my first tour blister going on.
Yeah.
Right there.
There it is.
That's from one gig, and there's 9 more to go in a row here.
Yeah, I definitely had a stalker. She started as a fan who wrote. She was older. She was like a grandparent, and she would write these letters about how much the music meant to her and stuff. And then we came out with the album Fairy Tales, and she was like such kind of a close. I actually sent her the album before it came out, and all of a sudden, I got this terrible, terrible letter from her. This is no email back in those days. This is all letters. And it was just like, how could you write a song like the song Innocence? Which sort of is sort of a turnaround on losing your innocence. So it's written from the perspective of stealing innocence, you know?
Right.
But it's definitely, if you listen to the song, it's so obviously like the turnaround song, you know? I'm the bad guy, but, you know, it's not Sirid. And I still like the song, but she was just horrified, and she started threatening that if we didn't take it off the album, that she would do something. She was like a witch and all this bullshit, and she was gonna do something horrible if we left this song on. It's like and I tried to explain it, I tried to reason it, I like sent her the lyrics with like explanations and stuff. So I was seriously freaked out because she was threatening to come over, right? And so that was when Rick and Peter and I all lived together, and I had this fax machine, and all of a sudden I get a fax. This says, you know, I'm in town, call me. And I had this phone number. I get this fax and I'm freaking out. And I go running in, and Rick and Peter are just trying not to laugh. They're just dying because they sent the fax from the other fax machine in the house.
Jackasses.
It was awesome. I was like, oh my God, so really. I never heard from her again.
I've been in the goth scene for about 17 years, and I've been to a couple of hundred different goth clubs all over the world, and I've seen 2 fights ever. One was between girls, and that was kind of hot, and the other was in Pittsburgh.
The promoter has a reputation. Promoter from Pittsburgh has a reputation of not being the greatest of people.
The promoter made a very bad choice. Booked goth bands with death metal bands and had 7 bands on the same bill.
The venue was god-awful hot. Jeez, I don't think I've sweat more in my life.
It was so hot they were passing out painters' masks to people so they could breathe inside. But if you're in the band, they don't even give you a bottle of water.
I was warned ahead of time, by the way, by the singer of Still Life Decay, who played with us there, that every time they play Pittsburgh, something crazy happens. So basically what happened first was one of the opening band's drummers got mad at the promoter.
2 guys physically attacked behind your truck.
The promoter, or the owner of the club, who's the sound guy, is pissed off every band he's played so far. There's been 3 bands, they've each wanted to hit him afterwards. And the 3rd band actually went ahead and beat him up in front of everybody in front of the club. He's over there getting a drunk test by the cops. They got a taser on him right now. And his hand is all bloody because he went and punched the merchandise table. I think he broke a plate, cut his hand. But he's trying to say that the promoter stabbed him. But the promoter's, he's kind of a wimpy little guy. And he was crying over there a minute ago and calling for his mother, so.
It was crazy, but that wasn't my quote. My quote was, "This is a city full of assholes." That's Pittsburgh.
That's Pittsburgh?
Seriously, born and raised.
Pittsburgh.
That's good too.
It happens here all the time?
It does. The only thing we have good here are the Steelers.
Jeff jumped in there, being a dumbass, you know, and I told him not to, but he likes to save the day all the time, and I was like, dude, we gotta play Philadelphia tomorrow.
This stupid motherfucker's running around the street bleeding, raging, and bleeding out of his hand because he just punched something that cut him up bad. He wasn't stabbed, he cut himself in his stupid rage. And so he's running around the street flinging blood at people, and I tried to go up and give him a hand towel, and he was telling me to fuck off and get away from him, and I was just like, take the towel.
Will you videotape me going, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm moving away, and I think I'm drunk, but I'm a straight edge kid, so it's rocking.
Looks like this movie's about to take off now, huh?
Two guys physically attacked behind.
Los Angeles, California. And just let me say, at $3.60 a gallon, Los Angeles is a long fucking way away, so please visit their merchandise stand and buy their CDs and shirts and all the other cool stuff that they have. Good friends, great musicians. This is their very first time at the Dracula's Ball, so please give them a lot of love. The Last Dance!
Mr. Jeff, Mr. Hefe. On stage, he's fantastic. He's the best singer I know. He's basically a comedian as well, you know, a stand-up comedian as well as a singer, but he puts it together well, and, you know, it kind of gives our band a reputation that is different than a lot of other bands.
I was going to save the merchandise talk for a little bit. If you... Oh wait, look, a little sticker. Try them on. These are a small. I don't think they're gonna fit, but I'm not gonna miss by much. I think I just put them on sideways. In the, if you buy your own, you'll always know. I'm not doing it again. I think these are a medium now. They're mostly clean. I can't really see a lot of faces, but I can tell that that hand is far too fucking big for these. Sir, put your hands down and buy your girlfriend a pair. Okay.
Well, it seems like we can't fall. Well, it feels like we could live or die. Die. Yes, your heart in this moment haunted me to where I dream. In my heart it is this feeling. In my nightmares while I scream. It's your heart in this moment haunted me to where I dream. And my heart feels like nothing. Broken slowly, piece by piece.
Thank you so much for playing with us. We love you. Dracula's Ball.
With one light passing through the timeless void of dreamless wonder, I set myself free enough. Never once.
So we're in Philadelphia with Rocky, who wants to go and find the steps that Rocky in the movie ran up and danced around on, which is totally gay and stupid and embarrassing.
Well, not the actual. We'll just take you to the double. Hello.
One of these weekends when I
How are you?
We're filming a movie, now you're in it.
What movie are you filming?
This is like a tour documentary thing. You know?
One of these weekends.
Going to interview me or something?
We just did.
on.
But you're
I'm on a spot.
You're with the Super Duck, right?
Super Duck, yeah. Super Duck.
Anybody come to Philly, take the Super Duck tour. Fuck the land shark. They don't know what they're doing.
My brother works for the land shark now. Well, we're better.
Take it back.
He looks just
Right there.
That's Brian Kane.
I'm getting a sandwich from Pat's. He's getting one from Gino's. We're gonna split them, and
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Free with peppers, onions, ways to go.
And I trade
Hey, when in Rome, man.
3 puppets she went to go. What?
Actually, if that was in Rome, I wouldn't get a sandwich like this, but
$20.25.
Pat's and Gino's. Hey.
What do you want?
The ramifications later are too daunting to have two of these in one sitting. Wouldn't you say?
Right.
You know?
You get really full though. I did it the first time we went when we were with Phil.
Remember those horses we saw yesterday in Independence Square? This is where they end up. I talk about glue factories, but really it's...
Come shadow, come wind, feel my poison, and I'm frozen in.
We pulled into DC and all full of excitement because our buddies in Bellamorte are gonna be playing that show with us.
Hey, Bellamorte fan club is here.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right. That's my dick, baby. That's my dick.
How you doing, man?
They're some of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and the guys that do it pure and go home and live in their little apartment all in the same place and work their little construction jobs to make ends meet between tours and just pretty much living the life. And if any band in the scene deserves to make something happen, it's those guys.
It's like, well, you don't get paid, and then people come over to your merch table and they're like, okay, here are the guys with the goddamn mini mall that I came to see, or Joe. Like, that's who we end up being, you know? Like, no one wants Joe's merchandise. They brought a 20, you know? Like, they're getting the band that gives these t-shirts. See, you don't make money, but goddamn, you're in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah, man. Last time we played here, we came in from down this street here, and as we were driving in, there were 10, 12 drug dealers chasing us down the street on foot, trying to sell us drugs. 600 yards from the state capitol. It was awesome. From the nation's capital.
Yeah. Here we go. This is all I have.
My way against the heavy tides of normalcy, some faces gray, and still I carry on into the day. Don't want to see the end. I know it takes so much to not let go. Don't want to carry on the road, but time will take. Is all I have. I don't have so much, and I can't be much less. I'd rather die than see my life turn gray by thoughts that bind. Don't want to see the end. I know it takes so much to not let go. Don't want to carry on alone, but time will take what's owed.
The jokes fly freely between the two bands. It's a very unnatural relationship that we have with those guys, where the gags are always flying, and when you play with Bellamorte, it's less about the audience and more about the band you're playing with. And I almost feel sorry for people that show up to these shows because they have to listen to this play fight go on between heterosexual men. It's just so gay. I can't believe it.
No, actually, that was a really nice set that you guys did.
It was really good. It reminded me a lot of going to church as a teenager. No, I really did. You guys should do a CD, an acoustic CD. I think Micah and Micah and Gopal should do that CD. But
get to whatever crappy joke you're gonna make.
What's that?
I said get to whatever crappy joke you're about to make and move on.
That was it, dude. That's all I got.
At least it was crappy. I was right.
I meet hundreds of bands every year. We all meet hundreds of bands, and I can think of no band that's more deserving to like just jump out and be huge than Bella Morte. I love you guys so much, and this means the world to be here in your town, and you guys are just the lucky or unlucky audience to be here to experience it. But thank you guys all for coming, and we'll keep playing a few songs, yeah?
Night I thought I saw you staring at the sky. Last night I thought I saw you wishing your dreams to die. Last night I thought I heard you screaming out your heart. Last night I thought I saw your shadow tear you apart. Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
I need to see your ID before I sign your
I'm
stuff.
18, I swear to God.
You're 18, you swear to God?
I'm 18, September 2nd.
I can't sign your stuff. You're gonna sign stuff. Okay.
Get this on camera, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I got it on camera saying she's 18.
Okay, you got it.
Swear to God, I'm 18.
Big or little?
It doesn't matter.
Really? I'm gonna sign it big just for fun, okay?
Oh, I can't. Thank you.
Sign my stuff. Oh, dude.
I'm glad you got that.
Equal opportunity here, okay? Gonna ruin my pen.
Some places you go that you never expect that you would ever be, like Puerto Rico. I never, ever thought that I would be doing a show at the Hard Rock Cafe in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
We've never been there, and I grew up there, so this will be the first time back in almost 10 years. And also a big deal for me because I've never actually gone back with a band or to perform. You know, I kind of left Puerto Rico because there weren't a lot of opportunities for a rock musician there, and so going back with a band and playing the Hard Rock Cafe is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, we played a gig at midnight last night in New Jersey, so we got out of there at about 3, went to bed at about 4, got up at 6, flew for 4 hours, which I slept on the plane. I don't know about anybody else. I don't think they did. And now we're here. It's 1 o'clock Eastern time, and we have a sound check at 4 and a gig at 9.
Nice. Think about it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Tom, they went through your bag at the airport when you left New Jersey?
That's Boy George. Boy George, you know him? Boy George? Yes, Boy George.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna go get him.
Okay. Come on.
Yes, I can.
Gretchen.
Gretchen, how do I spell that?
GRETCHEN.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Are you busy tonight?
No.
We're playing at the Hard Rock Cafe tonight. We're not coming down. Should be fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, like we're in Puerto Rico, we're at the hotel, and there's a casino behind the camera that we're not allowed to film, and they've made it very clear. There's a casino here, and I'm gonna, and I'm gonna lose some money tonight. It's gonna be fun, but it's very hot and humid here, but it's the tropics. What do you expect? It's like the best of Latin America and something that the rest of America doesn't really possess. It's almost a, I hate to call it an innocence because it's not, but I'll call it a simplicity.
That's what trying to be a Boy George lookalike.
Let me see that guy. Let me see this.
Your fault, I broke.
So this doesn't do anything, and this like, oh, it
Go to a place, you find the people that live there, you kill them, you screw their women, create another race, and then you erect monuments to them.
Yeah, people found out that I was from Puerto Rico, and that definitely got people excited. You know, it's a small island. In a lot of ways, it has a very much of a small town mentality. It's a big deal for them when anybody gets known outside of the island in any kind of capacity and comes to perform there or makes an appearance. You know.
Listen to this. Can you hear it? No, we're not on a boat. We're by the beach. Tom went in the water.
Tom went in. How was it, Tom?
It was awesome. It was salty,
A little salty?
but a cleaner salty than in California. I didn't taste garbage.
Good evening, Puerto Rico. perfect world resides, our perfect storytelling dream exists, the breath that gave our lives this meaning. Now in memories, now in our perfect world we cry to fall asleep and pray that we can stop this screaming, but it's not the way we were. One voice, one world, one life, here in make-believe. One heart, one voice is screaming. Sometimes nowhere we don't try to find these meanings, memories haunting inside these dreams. We try sometimes understanding why, and we care not when giving up inside we fall behind our secret walls within, our secret thoughts pretending our life to hide the voices screaming. One voice, one world, one life, here in make-believe. One heart, one voice is screaming. Welcome to Puerto Rico, you fuck! This was our perfect world. This was our voice. This was our perfect world. This is our voices screaming. This was our perfect world. This was our perfect dream. This was our perfect world. This is our voices screaming. This was our perfect world. This was our perfect dream. This was our perfect world. This is our voices screaming. One voice, one world, one life. Yeah, yeah. In make believe. One voice is screaming.
Well, the goth scene there just got started a couple years ago, so it's new. And anywhere that the scene is new at, people are so excited and so into it. There's no attitudes yet.
Did you get a stick?
Yes, and I have
The pics
I'm a
from...
very happy camper right now.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
It's really cool when you get to do a show that means so much to somebody that's actually in your band. Peter was raised a good part of his life in Puerto Rico, and he won't ever shut up about it.
Yeah, they loved him. You know, he can speak Spanish, he can sit there and chat with everybody, and they're gonna love him. He's the rock star. And me and Jeff knew that going in. We're like, yeah, okay, this is Peter's night. He's the rock star.
Así que ya saben. Mira, denle gracias a Richard, DJ The Work, a los sonidistas, al Hard Rock Café. Miren, esto hace 10 años no existía. Radio Tectronics. Esto hace 10 años no existía. Lo tienen que seguir apoyando. ¿Ok? Y gracias. Y gracias a ustedes.
Sometimes you do a show and you just feel this overwhelming gratitude for the people that booked you, because they went so far out of their way to make you feel welcome and comfortable. And that was the case with Puerto Rico. They hooked us up with this fantastic hotel that they definitely couldn't afford and pulled some strings to make happen. And they fed us and they drove us around and after parties, and they ended up letting in like 30 Puerto Rican kids with no money for free into the after party just because they were standing outside. And they, above and beyond anything you could ever want, they totally took care of.
You know, playing Puerto Rico was really fun for us and actually exciting because we'd never played there before.
Oh yeah, it's pretty nice. Hi, Rogan.
You guys gotta be all smiles.
Oh yeah, this is great. First class.
So the little people in the back, are they okay?
Yeah, the youngs, yeah.
They're in the back, chilling.
How you doing, Joshy?
How you guys enjoying the third class seats?
I'm back here with the people, man.
Yeah. You know what? It's really not that big of a difference.
He says that to us now.
Do you want to go up there? I'll trade with you for a while.
Go up there.
How you doing?
So how's first class, guys?
First class. It was roomy. Roomy.
There's like 3 other seats.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
We're the Rainbow Stick, the gay rainbow band.
Hippie bow.
think we're all hot shit because we get to ride first class on accident once.
Hey, we deserve it, man. We're in the band.
Hurricane Rita, wind speeds now of 140 miles an hour, a strong Category 4.
Hurricane fuel, the highest octane, already pushing Rita to Category 4. The top winds of 140 miles an hour.
I had peanut butter and jelly in years until these days.
Really? We've
like
made you regress back to your childhood. Remember that scene in The Godfather where Paulie shows Michael how to make some sauce? That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, it kind of got you. I better get one like up close because
We need it for the t-shirts we're gonna make.
yeah. All right.
Well, hey,
My
thank
hand
you
down my
so much.
pants.
You were
Yeah.
totally a cool guy, man.
Yeah. Well, glad you guys had fun out here.
Definitely had a good
Thanks
time.
for playing
We
the show.
appreciate it.
Just-
Took care of us very well.
Yeah.
Talk
Anytime.
to
See you
Sean.
again, man.
Yeah.
Talk to Sean. Maybe we'll come out here on our own.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Pay you a visit.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Don't forget your siren.
Thanks, brother.
Sorry, I just
You can have the Simple Shelter outtakes. For the,
Yeah, exactly.
The movie. Just the Simple Shelter section. It's all about Josh and his crazy randomness.
If we make Josh's random shit the extras, our movie will suck.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we brought him.
You guys know where the Club Future is? In here? Club Future? Yeah.
I don't even know. No, I'm not even sure.
Alright, thanks.
Georgia Power.
Hello, Cleveland.
This is where you enter. This walkway right here above us. I remember that. Right into there. Okay, we're gonna have to go up the. Level 1 entrance.
Okay.
But it doesn't say where the future is. Oh, all the way to the right, so it's on this back side. We probably have to look in the future.
Where we can go looking for people that they're not here.
There we go. The EQ sounds really weird. Is it flat? Check 1, 2. It's got a whole bunch of 1.2K on it. Sounds really weird. It might just be the monitor, or it might be the mains. Not really sure. Check, check, check. There it is. That's a bit better. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. 1, 2. It's in there, not very loud, and sounds really thin. It's all just like a bell curve.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check. Check.
Check this, motherfucker. Give me something to check.
This is our sound guy. He's in this room.
Hi. I'm the sound guy.
So, as you come along here, you go through there. That's where the actual graphic EQs are for the monitors. So basically we rung them out via cell phone. I called Rick on his cell phone and we just called out frequencies until we stopped it from feeding back. First time ever that I've ever had to do something like that. And that was absolutely silly. nice, just once, well, more than once, but at least once, to have a, you know, a tour where every night after the gig we stayed in a hotel.
Not on some floor.
Not on a floor or a couch or, you know, that, and like a bus, you know, at least once in my career, do a tour where, you know, there's a bus and a crew and all that good stuff.
Starting to get to that point. I'm starting to see not so many happy faces. I'm seeing tired faces. What's that all about?
Fuck off, will you?
He's asking for muscle relaxers and I pointed out the sexual stimulant pills.
Well, he's like, I need some stuff. I said, well, just go, we're at a truck stop. Just go ask the cashier where you can find some drugs.
They did.
I know, I was there. It was fucking rad.
Don't screw up tonight, okay? Like last night, totally understandable. Everything's fine. Tonight, I will make it up to you. Thank you. Double kick drums.
And I have my kazoo ready for that guitar solo. I can.
What the fuck are we doing? We're gonna play or what?
What song are you talking about?
That's Secrets.
Secrets?
Yeah. That's your part in Secrets. The solo where it sounded like my kazoo. That's not.
Kinda, yeah. Da-na-na-na. Okay, cool.
All right, guys.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Rock and roll, Cleveland. This way?
Florida restaurant incident. This is actually a great story about what happens when you're on the road for a while and how you cease to care about what people think around you after a while, and you get sort of raw, which leads you to do things you would never do in public, probably ever. What happened was we were in North Florida, in Tallahassee. We went to visit some former members of the Crew Shadows who run a club up there. Chris and Stacy, and every year we're there, they take us to this really great Cuban restaurant because Peter likes Cuban food. So we're in this patio, and we're all sitting at this long table, and this waiter comes up behind us with a tray of waters in like these 40-ounce plastic glass, cups, and he's standing right behind me to my right. And just as I looked at him, the thought came to me that I should probably grab those cups off of that tray or he's going to spill them. At which point he spilled the whole thing down my back and then got this look of horror on his face. He thought I was going to kill him because he didn't know who we were, and we're all sitting there in black. So I stood up and grabbed the first cup that was on the table and just threw it at his chest. And I claimed my town in front of him. I just stood up and said, LVC, bitch, and sat back down. Everybody thought I was going to kill this guy, but I wasn't mad in the least. It felt great to get water poured on me, and I don't know, the spirit of Snoop Dogg overtook me, and I claimed LVC. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, are you awake? You know what? We're in Tallahassee at this guy Chad's house, who used to be in the Crew Shadows. And, yeah. And, we had a sleepwalker last night. Yeah. A certain person with braids. Yeah, I guess so. He kicked Josh's ass in his sleep.
Did he polish off this whole thing?
Apparently.
Dude. Okay, so I'm lying there. All of a sudden, boom, hit to the face. I look over and Rick's there, with his arm out. No big deal. I was like, oh, accidentally hit me. And all of a sudden, I like put my back to him, boom, knee in the back, and I was like, fuck, you know, I go back to sleep. 10 minutes later, boom, knee to the back. I was like, god damn it. And then after he hit me,
I had my own room.
he hit me like 10 times easily. And then finally I was just lying there. And I was just lying there awake, and he hits me again, and I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. I said that out loud. So I got up, I walk over, lie down on the ground, on the floor, you know, everyone else in bed, I'm on the floor. He wakes up, like maybe a half hour goes by, I fall asleep again. He wakes up, comes over, kicks me in the back. He got up out of bed to kick me. And then he went down on all fours, and then started crawling around, like looking at the VCR. Like, I didn't know what the hell he was doing. I wanted to beat him up so bad if I didn't know he was sleepwalking, because he was going over, like looking at the VCR light, like checking it out. I was like, okay, he's not doing it on purpose, but I want to beat this guy so bad.
Pete, what did he do to you? Well, if what he did, if what I experienced hadn't happened, I would think that Josh was totally fucking with all of us right now. But at some point, I don't know if it was either before or after, Rick shakes me awake. He goes, we have to be at the hotel in 20 minutes. And I'm like, what? I thought we were staying here. Yeah, I thought so too, but we have to be in the hotel in 20 minutes. Everybody's up and getting ready. I'm like, are you sure about this? And then he kind of goes, never mind, forget it. And he goes back downstairs. So I follow him down to see, like, if everybody really is awake. And everybody's totally passed out asleep. I'm like, is everything cool? Because he just woke me up, and he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I just kind of spaced out.
Dude, I think the captain took him over last night.
I think he was dancing with the captain.
And by then I went back to the bed, because he'd gone upstairs, and I was like, please just stay out there. So I went back to the bed, and when he came down, I was like, well, at least when he kicks me, I'm going to be lying in a bed, not on the floor.
He kicked you out of bed, man. You must not have been good enough for him. So it's Tom, Peter, Jeff, Rick. That's why we call him Captain Rick.
Never could I write you into words. Never could I write you.
Whether or not those winds are getting stronger, but a very good-looking storm in terms of a classic, very powerful hurricane. It's very symmetrical. It's very large. In fact, the wind field on this thing goes across nearly 300 miles, so it's almost 300 miles wide.
We can't fly to Houston because it's going to be flooded. We'll try to fly back to Dallas on Sunday, but we can't fly into a hurricane. What I heard is that they're going to have at least still 85-mile-an-hour winds in Dallas on Sunday. We got to fly into that to pick up our van. Or if they don't fly us there, we're stuck in Connecticut, which means we miss El Paso until we can get a flight back.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was going to make it from Austin or not, because since the hurricane, everybody's heading from Houston and Austin, trying to make it up to Dallas, and it's like a parking lot. But I-35 goes from Austin to Dallas wasn't that bad today.
Really?
So,
Cool.
So we got here pretty quick, thank God. But to beat the storm, when we're done, we're going to kind of pack up and try to head back.
So we have a flight that leaves at 9 a.m.
Really? Oh, because I saw like Connecticut.
Flight Connecticut tomorrow. So we're hoping that we can set that. And that they still run.
You flying out of Love Field, or is it Southwest, or are you
No,
flying
just out of
DFW? Well, that's even closer, so it's a little easier to get to.
What's the plan?
We're gonna play a show here, and then we're gonna go straight to the airport, catch a flight to Connecticut, and then hopefully catch a flight back. We're in Dallas. Right now is when the hurricane is just bracing to hit Houston, so we lost our Houston show. Unfortunate, and there's some very interesting clouds and wind, and it just sort of feels like bad weather even up here. When we come back, it's supposed to, there should be some pretty bad storms up here too, but I guess by the time this by the time this gets seen anywhere, we'll know how bad this hurricane was in Houston. But it kind of puts us on the wrong side of the hurricane to get home.
Hi, I'm Bree. I came all the way from Houston, drove what should have been a 3-hour drive. I drove about, I want to say 26 hours. I left at 11 on Wednesday night and came into Fort Worth, I want to say, at 1 a.m. And yes, folks, everything was out of gas, out of water, everything else. But, you know,
why did you go through all of that?
A, because there was a hurricane coming, and B, because one of my friends is having to have open heart surgery.
I thought you were going to say you came up with the last name.
Well, that was the other thing.
That was C.
Who says it was the last? You know, save the best for last, man.
She's wearing Jeff's jacket that she got from Seth. And he would be so excited about this. So Seth, if you're watching this, this is in your jacket.
The only thing better is if she was naked.
It's not too late.
Well, turn aside.
Are you still playing Houston?
No, actually, our Houston show got canceled by God. So we're flying to Connecticut tomorrow to play the Gothic festival with the Genitortures and. Are you good? and I think Bella Morte is playing that one. But they're playing a different day, and Andy still has my pants. So if anybody talks to Andy, tell him he better wash them, because I know what he's doing with my pants. Yeah. Yeah. It was a really dumb show. Yeah. Me too, and I think we're going out to eat and then going to the airport. So, it's just, it's like one of those, like there's 4 people dancing up front, and then like everybody's sitting in these chairs, and I knew they weren't going to move. I didn't even try to go out there and get them. It's Dallas, they're all like way too cool for me. And now we have to like repack everything for the flight. A lot of work.
You guys are on tour. How do you feel?
Yeah, they are. Here's a smaller one. $50. I'm liking it. Here's a $30 one. Which one do you like? How rocky? You like that shape?
I like. Yeah, those are cool.
Do you want to do some of these things? The mortar shells? You want to try this? Or the ones that shoot up and make them?
Can I get some more M1000? Or do you want to tape this to a rocket first?
Alex over here.
That's right.
I think Howard Hughes liked shooting off fireworks.
I think this is the most excited I've seen Rick in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it probably is. Okay, on tour, you know, there's always 1 or 2, maybe 3 opening bands. We always get CDs. And this is what we like to do with these CDs that don't quite meet our standards. Keep the good ones and we send the other ones to hell.
On that one.
We are fighting back.
Dude, the bird survived.
Very long lick.
To the licks, sir.
Yeah, what the hell?
I'll go way down the road for this one. I'll point it down
pull all
the
the
road
wicks
that
down.
way.
Here, all 3?
Yeah.
I'm going to tape them together so you can light them and they'll go together at one point. So.
Well, if you tape them, it might.
They'll burn inside.
Bella Morte. For the crime of sex with livestock. Take that, you zombie fucker.
Stories, in stories, in stories, in dreams, in stories, in dreams, in moments, in mirrors, in stories, in stories.
Words of wisdom. You need to sacrifice everything and believe 100% in what you're doing if you're going to be able to pull this off.
If you get into it with the idea of making money or getting lots of girls, then you're probably going to wind up getting pretty disappointed in the end.
The world needs art. And so if some kid comes up to me, he can be 18 and a fantastic guitar player, or he can be 6 years old, and he tells me he wants to be a rock star, I will completely encourage him to be an artist.
This song is for you guys. And this song is for Ivan.
I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. Walking with the dead man over my shoulder. I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. Walking with the dead man, dead man. I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. Walking with the dead man over my shoulder. Waiting for an invitation to ride. Going to a party when no one's still alive. Not struck by lightning. Walking down the street. I was hit by something last night in my sleep. It's a dead man's body. Who could ask for more? Everybody's coming. Leave your body at the door. Leave your body and soul at the door. Got my best suit and my tie. Shining silver dollar on either right. I hear the chauffeur coming to the door. Says there's room for maybe just one more. I struck by lightning, walking down the street. I was hit by something last night in my sleep. It's a dead man's body. Who could ask for more? Everybody's coming. Leave your body at the door. Leave your body and soul